What is good, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. It is time for a brand new transfer talk, and we have an update from a reputable source, or do we? I'll get into that in just a moment. Also want to clarify a couple of things from yesterday's video, just for a bit more context, just to apply more context to what I was talking about yesterday in terms of the way our squad is right now, in terms of the money spent. So we'll get into that a bit later too, because I'm interested to hear your thoughts. But first of all, Sasha Tavalieri has come out today and has said this in regards to Bilal El Khannouss. Playing in European competitions is not a decisive factor in his decision. Leeds United has scheduled a meeting with the player in the coming days. Yes, no time like a few days, all right? Yeah. And Crystal Palace could also make a move depending on departures next week. Now, let me just say this straight off the bat. This is from his agent that has given this to Sasha 100%. The agent has put out the state of play for El Khannouss, and at this time, we know he has a contract release clause that expires in the middle of August, in probably about 9 days' time, and he's letting everybody know the state of play. And also, in regards to that first line, I know a lot of people will think that playing in European competitions is not a decisive factor will apply to Leeds United, so it's a good thing for us. It is. But it's also applying to Leipzig too, who are also not in European competitions this season. So it's not just a dog whistle to us, it's to other teams in and around that thing as well, where there's no European competition, and he's cool with that. Obviously, the agent and El Khannouss is going to look for the best option. The thing is as well, in terms of the Palace thing, if they move Eze on, so that's the agent letting them know whether you've got Eze or not. This is the state of play, and Leeds United have got a meeting coming up soon. Now, again, why are we waiting? Why are we waiting for people to jump over us? If we believe this player can be a key component in our bid for survival, or a component in our bid for survival, get the deal done. Now, if we've underbid Leicester City, or underbid in their valuation, go to the release clause, 24.5 million, and see how interested El Khannouss is. Is this going to be another thing with like the Paixão where he could be if another club isn't interested, or is he really sold on coming to Leeds United? And you'll get to know that pretty soon. Obviously, he's well within his right to weigh up the options. He's got a lot of good options on the table, and he is ready for the next spot. I know a lot of people are not convinced, but that's what happens when you've got low stats and people don't watch you with their eyes. That's just one of those things. But he is ready for the next one. You don't get clubs like Leipzig or even Arsenal previously looking at him, thinking that he can be a something for their squad if he wasn't in that bracket. It just wouldn't happen. So he is ready for that next step up, and hopefully it could be with this football club. But I think that Leeds United at this point should just bid the release clause if they feel he's worth it. Obviously, it has to be that if they feel he's worth 24.5 million, which I think in this current market, and you've seen what other players are going for, he could be. If they feel he's that, if he's that worth it, they know other clubs are going to be circling. And if Eze does go, Palace are going to have the opportunity, the money, the location as well, London. It's going to be a tougher battle. Why not get in there before this meeting is registered in the coming days and get in there first? We just always seem to be, we're very passive for me, passive in this transfer window. We're not aggressive enough for me. We seem to be like that like shy person in a crowd, like, people are stepping on their feet, but they're saying, oh, sorry. We seem to be that kind of person in this whole window when we should be a little bit more aggressive with what we want. And I'll get into what we've done so far in just a moment. But if Leeds feel he's that important, get the bid in, talk to him, talk to the agent, and see where they are, see where they're at. Because then at least you can get a good feel if he's genuinely interested in coming, or if we then need to move on. Because we're talking, the release clause expires in 9 days, let's just say, people. That's another 9 days off this very long window where we haven't, for me, done enough key work. And I'll show you in just a moment. I feel like we just, the time is ticking. And again, this is a living document. There's plenty of time to get things done in and out. But it would be nice to get some key targets in, before Everton. That would be nice. But Danny Farker himself, the manager, the gaffer, has said himself, we need more. And he's not wrong. So we'll see what happens with this. Can we move up the meeting a couple of days? We'll see. I don't think so. We'll probably wait for another club. Actually, another club will probably say, hey, Leeds, when's your meeting? Oh, it's on Friday at 2. Well, we're taking that one. All right. Oh, okay. Could we have Sunday, please? Yeah, listen, that's just how it feels. But I know that's not the way. I'm having a bit of fun. Information and entertainment, people. Information and entertainment. So we'll see what happens with El Khannouss, man. What I want to just put on as well is Everton. This isn't rival watch. This is a game me looking at how it can benefit us. I mean, Everton, you would think would be one of the teams down there, but again, they've already got a head start on teams like Leeds, like Sunderland, like Burnley, just from years and years of competing and having that already tough as nails mentality to not get relegated has been proof that they just don't get relegated. They've added Keenan Dewsbury Hall. That's been official today. They're also in for Jack Grealish as well. They're talking with him. I know that Tottenham are also in talks with him as well. So, but they're in that conversation. And also someone I've brought up on this channel before in Davitashvili, who's currently now in League Two in France. He's not even in League 1 anymore. They got relegated. They want to keep him, but he wants to leave. And apparently Everton are looking at him as a left wing option. And again, this is someone who, again, he's not the Pai Shao kind of player, but he is definitely one of those direct threat options that you would take in your squad. But it seems that Everton are looking at him too. So all that to be said, that the likelihood of Jack Harrison going back to Everton is looking very slim right now. It's looking very slim. Let me just, it feels like it's getting slimmer by the day it passes, people. So MLS, come, Jack Harrison, is he available? Take him, please. And just another one, because I know a few of you like Ritz Sudon. I know that a lot of you really like that suggestion when I made it in the summer. He is going to Frankfurt. Fabrizio Romano, give it the here we go. And look at that fee as well, 21 million euros plus 1 million add-ons deal done. That's so cheap. That's under 20 million pounds. Probably altogether, or just over 20 million when you convert it. That's an amazing deal for a player like Ritz Sudon, who would have been he would be the first choice right winger here. 100% he would. He's that talented. So, but again, he's gone. So he was never on the board, people, but he was just one that a lot of you liked when I put him up as a suggestion. Now, someone that will, at this point in time, affect what we're doing is Darwin Nunes, who is very close to signing for Al Hilal. He's going to be signing a 3-year deal, according to Fabrizio Romano. Contract details are being sorted. Once done, here we go. So that one is done. And that then opens up the door even more for Aleksandar Mitrović to join Leeds United, if Leeds United want to go in for him. And it was again reported this morning, I think by the Chronicle. Don't quote me on that, but it's reported by a British publication that Mitrović has been offered to Leeds and Sunderland. And again, this, you know what, no-brainers starting to get diluted. It's becoming a word like legend, where people just say everyone's a legend. No-brainer is where it's one where you shouldn't need to think about it. If Mitrović has become available, he knows he's not going to get paid £400,000 a week in England, especially to Leeds and Sunderland. That's for sure. He wouldn't even get that at Tottenham, people. If he is willing to come and you can attract Mitrović to this football club, get it done. I don't want to repeat myself again. If he's going to be asking for, I mean, he'd easily be the highest paid player at the club, but he's worth it. That's what you pay the strikers for. Whether he's asking for 100, even if you have to get it to 150, if you can manage it, do it. Do it, please, because that is the difference between, possibly staying up and whimpering going down. He really could be that kind of difference. So we'll see what happens with this one. But again, the talk with Mitrović is that he is being offered to both Leeds and Sunderland, and possibly Fulham as well, from yesterday's report. Now, just to clear up something, because I put this up yesterday, in that we are 8th in the table at the moment in summer transfer fees spent. And a few people said this in terms of, see, the board are doing what they're having to do. They're spending the money. We can't complain too much, etc., along those lines. But what the thing I was trying to say was, have we done enough in the key areas? And what I meant by that, and this is why I mentioned the depth, that they've bought a few depth pieces and a couple of key players, I should say. Perry, key. Biol, key, and Stack, key players. The rest of the players that we've signed are squad players at best. Okay, and this isn't the best lineup. Maybe some of you will come up with a couple of different changes, but this is currently the best 11 that I think we've currently got. Bogle, Roden, Biol, Goodmanson, Perry in goal, Stack, Ampadu, Tanaka at the in the 8th place. James on the right, even though he's been injured. So at this point in time, you'd have to put Aronson there in terms of what Farker would do. Peru, and Nanto. So the point being is that we've spent money, people, but we haven't spent it all on the key areas, and that's what we need to do. We've still got backup fullbacks to get in the door. Um, we've still got a striker to get in, a forward like El Khannouss or anyone else of that kind of talent level who can make a difference in the forward line. We've got work to do. So that's the point I was trying to make. We've spent money, but for me, that I've said before, but now I think he'd probably still be at the club he's at. We could have probably picked him up at the end of the window. Mecha, if we didn't sign him, he'd probably find himself in Turkey or somewhere like that. Longstaff is Longstaff. I think he'd still be at Newcastle right now, ready to be the sixth choice if they couldn't move him on elsewhere. The point is that I don't think that we've made enough key signings, and this is pretty much still a lot of our championship lineup, in my opinion. So unless that's what needs to change in terms of, that's why I said yesterday, it's not about what you spend, it's how you spend it. And as I keep saying, I'll say it again for the people that always get up in arms, there is still time for this window to change for the better. But at this moment in time, people, we're looking like a hard-working team, but with very, very little creativity and very little goals at this point in time. And at the moment, we've seen Biol stack that, they look good, but we're looking like we're going to have these kind of players where when we go down, the teams above us are just going to be like, oh, we're going to take them from you. So that's what it looks like at this point in time. We're going to be scrapping at the bottom, but we can make it easier on ourselves, especially with the way that a couple of the teams above us are looking at in terms of like the Wolves and the Brentfords. So go all in and make it so much easier for yourself this season. There's probably no better year for this club to survive and then build next year. That's the dream for me, people. So that is it for the video. I hope everyone's doing well. Please like the video before you go. Free helps out the channel immensely. Thank you to Mr. P for the super thanks on the last video. See you in the next one. Peace out. Drop your thoughts below.